wish I had an angel for one moment of love. I wish I had your angel tonight. Deep into a dying day.
Yes, rockers rise up and welcome to another episode of the Mackem Metalhead Show. This is season 1, episode 4, and I thought, with season 5 coming up within the next, with episode 5 coming up within the next day or so, and season finale being around the corner, I thought, what better time than now to tell you about the story of how I got into metal. So without further ado, I'm Connor, the Mackem Metalhead. This is the Mackem Metalhead Show, season 1, episode 4. Let's fucking do this. Okay, so my story about getting into metal, like my journey into metal, the beginning's quite a long one, so bear with us. It all starts about what about four years old, when I first listened to rock music. At that time, obviously the rock channels was still huge. If you remember, like the mid 2000s, had that. Like the 2000s was that whole boom for like indie rock and stuff like that. And it was, I remember listening to like Evanescence for the first time, and the first song I heard by them was "Bring Me to Life." I still remember being about 4 years old. Even "Bring Me to Life" for the first time and just loving it. And then as I got older, I listened to The Darkness, because my sister used to play as "I Believe in a Thing Called Love" by The Darkness. One of my all-time favourite songs still to this day. I think that's 17 years ago. I'm 21 now. So to have a favourite song for 17 years, that's quite a long time, Quite a long time, So I still love that song to this day. I still love Evanescence to this day. But then as I got older, my father, my dad got us into a lot of the classic rock bands like The Who and stuff like that. So it was like The Who, Meatloaf, I started getting into Bon Jovi around that point as well. And then I was getting into all these bands, and half of them were through my dad. My dad. And I was getting into all these different bands, and then when I was about 9 years old, I saw this band on TV, and they were called Motorhead, you know. And I saw them on TV. I heard them on TV, should I say, and I was like, I might check these guys out. So when I went, so one day I was with my other we went shopping, and the shop we went to had the shop we went to. I should say that a bit more clearly. Had like this big section for like electronics and games and DVDs and CDs and stuff like that, and I saw. And I always went to the games section of the CD section, stuff like that. And I went in, and I was looking at the CDs, and I saw a CD, and on the front it said, Motorhead, greatest hits. So obviously at that age, I was about 9 year old. I asked my mum why she could have it. She went, "Well, are you sure you like that kind of stuff?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I like it." So she let us buy it. I got home, and I played it, and that was my first experience of Motorhead and Lemmy. That was my first my first exposure to them right there, and like my first proper exposure to them. Anyway, and from that point on, I just loved Motorhead. I loved them from that point on. I started listening to more of the stuff, and then a few more years went by. I started seeing. I was sat watching it. Was it Kerrang or something like that? And I saw like schools. It was one of the rock channels. Anyway, here in the UK. But at the time, I was looking at a band. I saw a band called Megadeth. Obviously, once again, everyone knows who Megadeth is. Um, so I was watching Megadeth, and I think it was Dave who was talking. Dave Mustaine. He was talking about something or other, and I never really decided to check out that band. But then, because after my first exposure to Motorhead, I never really like dived too deep into metal after that, and I didn't start thinking about it until I went to, I think it was Edinburgh Zoo one day for like a day out with my fat family, and I saw this girl. She was she was tall as fuck, right? And I mean it. She wasn't. I mean, I mean, my brother-in-law, right? He's a good 6'3". This last look just slightly taller than him, you know. Than him, you know. She was height-wise, she was fucking huge. Huge. And I'm like, fucking, fucking huge. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at her, I know I shouldn't have been. I don't know why with that, but I noticed the thing I was actually looking at on her was a t-shirt, and it was a Soul Hypnot t-shirt, with all the like original lineup on. So obviously it was Corey, Mick, Jim, Sid, Sean, Sid, Clown, Paul, Joy, 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 and all that. So it was like, so I was looking at this t-shirt and I'm thinking, wow, that I actually thought it was cool to be fair. So, but once again, I never really. I was thinking about it, but I never done anything about it until a couple of years after that, when in my music class one time, my music teacher said, right, we're gonna do something while we're gonna compare two different genres of music, and she said we're gonna be comparing like rap music to heavy metal, and so that we'll do heavy metal first, and she puts on, and bearing in mind this is the first ever sleep hypnot song I'd ever heard. It was the Negative One by the Negative One off of Five, the Garage chapter. And she played the song, and to be honest with you guys, I fucking loved it. I loved it. Then after that, I downloaded a few Slipknot songs on my phone. And I was listening to them on the school bus, on the way to school, like on repeat, just over and over again, And I got then I started getting into another band, obviously, possibly one of the biggest, if not the biggest, metal band of all time, Iron Maiden. Eddie. So I started listening to them, and if I remember correctly, the first ever song I heard by them was, actually I forget what the first song I heard by them was. I think it was either the Trooper or like Hallowed Be Thy Name or something like that. I forget now. Anyway, I started getting into Maiden and all that. And that's what I first discovered Metallica. That's when I first heard of these guys, So I started listening to them. I was listening to Soul Hypnot now as well. And then all of a sudden I was just uncovering all of these brand new brands by the way. I don't know why I was just staring at my PS5 for guy. I apologise for that. But like I said, I started uncovering all of these different bands. All of a sudden I was getting into bands like like Korn and Limp Bizkit and Airbraid and Lamb of God and fucking Arch Enemy and stuff like that. I just kept on going and going and going. Um, like I said, even a lot of classic bands as well. Cannibal Cannibal Corpse was a massive one for us, for me, when I first started listening to them. Um, it was a it's been a hell of a ride getting into metal. Cause now I'm still uncovering new bands all the time. Like now, my metal listing goes right from like Black Sabbath all the way through to fucking Cranium and Brandrill. It goes right through the spectrum me- of metal, and it goes right the way through. And obviously, that's how my journey into metal started. And what did it end? Well, tell you something, guys. It does not end, because I'm always gonna be a metalhead, and that is why I am the Mackem Metalhead. Up up the irons, as us modern fans. So and as for seeing bands live, bit of a disappointing story to tell you guys, but the only metal band I've ever seen live so far is Iron Maiden, and that was at Newcastle 3 years ago. But hopefully, the more metal bands that come to Newcastle, the better. Because then when I can afford it, I can get tickets and go and see them. So the journey is far from over, as I say. And so yeah, that's my story about how I got into metal. And now I'm listening to more metal than ever, more bands than ever. Some of my favorite bands to listen to right now include Arch Enemy, Verte, Nightwish, Sleep, Hypnot, Korn, still, I love it, I love it, I love it, Parade, I love it, I love it, Parade, and Suicidal Tendencies and stuff like that, and all these different bands. Love them, love them, love them. I'm never going to stop listening to them. Even when I'm sat slumped in a fucking armchair, with no fucking teeth, I'll stick something that's on and go, fuck yeah, I fucking love metal. Never gonna stop. And yeah, that's my story about how I got into metal. Been a hell of a journey so far, but it's only just begun. Fuck yeah. Alright guys, so that was my story of getting into metal, of how I got into metal. Obviously I was just listing off bands, like railing off bands that I got into as I went through my metal journey, which I'm still going through. Don't think I'm not. Like I said, when I found all of these bands, I was like, fuck me, this whole other world's been here all this time, and I've never known it till now, It's it's insane. How this whole other world's been here, this whole island, and I'm just finding it now, you know. So yeah, I got into all that shit, and I never want to stop. I never want to stop. Even when bands are coming out with heavier and heavier stuff, I'm always gonna be there listening to it. Even when I'm like fucking, even when I'm like, yeah, 8 year old, sat in a slump in a fucking armchair, one night, teeth and being fed through it was fucking drip. I said, no, you don't get fed through just drips, do you? Drip. Anyway, like I said, when I'm getting fed through, what I meant was when I'm getting fed through fucking tubes, I've got no fucking teeth, 8 year old, and slumping a fucking armchair, I'm gonna be blasting metal, and my cars will just have to put up with it, won't they? So that was my journey into metal. Like I said, I'm never gonna stop. I'm never taking my foot off the gas when it comes to metal. I'm crashing into walls and going right fucking through. And anybody who's wants to get into metal, I encourage you to. It's a whole different world to the rest of the world, you know. So I encourage you to do that, because you'll find a whole other world, and the world of metal is just magical. It's amazing. It's amazing. So good. So like I said, that was my journey into metal, and I want to get into metal, and I want to get into metal. I highly encourage you to, because anyone out there who's not too sure about metal, check it out. You know, obviously it's not for everyone, but if you like it, you like it. You don't. That's just the way the world works, right? But I do encourage you to at least try. So hopefully some of you do. And yeah, that's all for this one, guys. So until next time, I've been the Mackem Metalhead, and this has been the Mackem Metalhead Show, Season 1, Episode 4, my journey into metal. Until next time, guys, take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, stay safe. Episode 5 coming up real soon. Well, we'll be taking a look. Excuse me. We'll be taking a look at my top 5 metal bassists. And when I say metal, I don't mean I'm gonna be doing, for starters, I'm gonna be doing death metal. Because then when I start Season 2, I'm gonna be doing a few in there where I talk about my favourite bassists of different metal subgenres. So keep an eye out for those. Season 1, Episode 5 coming out tomorrow. So make sure you check back for that. But until then, guys, I've been Connor, the Mackem Metalhead. This has been the Mackem Metalhead Show. Be nice, stay safe, take. Be nice to each other, stay safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you all in the next one. Keep on rocking, guys.
I wish I